Stop playing with them, fool.
Hi, I'm Nicola Cairncross. Welcome to my podcast. This is where we talk about entrepreneurship, digital marketing, being a digital nomad, and much, much more. I really hope you enjoy the show. Before the Industrial Revolution, entrepreneurial thinking wasn't a buzzword. It was how you survived. You didn't get a job, you became useful. You learned to build, cook, fix, sew, grow, raise, trade. You made yourself valuable because there was no safety net. If you grew or made, you had to produce the items for less than you could sell them for. You had to find customers. You had to set up your stall at the side of the road or at the end of your lane, going to the local market or travelling to the next town to sell to shops you could then sell on. Many people had a rudimentary knowledge of profit and loss, the principles and economics of marketing, and wholesale versus retail. Those who were good at it became bigger in their endeavours and became merchants, not just producers. It was a hard and risky life, making a living, often out in all weathers, but you were your own boss. You determined the quality of your life. Your efforts were rewarded with silver coins, which you could use or save, depending on any excess and your own inclinations. Then factories came along. Eric Hobsbawm held that the Industrial Revolution began in Britain in the 1780s, but the effects were not fully felt until the 1830s or 1840s. Schools started springing up, often attached to factories, so that both parents could work and children could be taught to be good little workers in future. Posh kids were still taught at home by tutors and travel. Generation by generation, the masses were taught to swap that independence and ancient entrepreneurial instinct for obedient employment. It was an easier life after all, although most would beg to differ. But that system is collapsing now. Right now, quickly and quietly, the economic foundations most people rely on are cracking under the weight of the debt. AI, automation, debt implosions, global instability, it's all accelerating faster than the experts can predict. The old jobs are going away fast, and they aren't coming back. The one thing nobody talks about is what are the governments going to do with all those unemployed, hungry people? The answers don't bear thinking about, which is why nobody is talking about this issue. Those of us who do think and who are able to face harsh realities already know what the people who run things, hint, not the government, are going to do about that. And in fact are already doing about that. If you accept the inevitable consequences of creating a whole swathe of people with no bullshit jobs, in the words of anthropologist David Graeber in his famous book, then you must accept that these people will either have to find a way to make a living, accept government handouts, measly as they will be, and thus government control, or starve. In order to become someone who has a fair chance of ensuring their family don't become a tragic statistic within these swathes of people, you have to become more entrepreneurial right now. The next generation of entrepreneurs won't look like today's Instagram business gurus. There'll be people who can make things, fix things, grow things, teach things. There'll be tailors, cooks, gardeners, builders, vets, shepherds, carpenters, blacksmiths, seamstresses, hunters, healers, and protectors. The women who can grow food, sew clothes, nurture children, teach and barter. The men who can build homes, raise animals, tend land, guard communities. This isn't fantasy, it's history repeating itself, just with new challenges and tools. And those who succeed won't be the ones from the best universities with the best CVs. They'll be the ones who think creatively, act independently, solve real problems, and create real value. In a bid to start a movement that will help people create the right mindset to survive and thrive, starting this week, I'm going to start sharing the Better Entrepreneur Blueprint, a free open course to help you adapt to the new world coming, to help you learn how to think and act differently, more like an entrepreneur, before the world finishes turning upside down. There'll be over 25 transformational sessions, practical, grounded and real, no fluff, no hype, just the raw skills and mindsets you'll need to build something worth building. Totally free of charge. Because very soon the future won't belong to the biggest companies anymore, the BlackRocks, the Vanguards and the State Streets of this world. It will belong to the better entrepreneurs. Once upon a time, we were all entrepreneurs. Long before LinkedIn profiles and corporate ladders, human beings survived and thrived by thinking and acting entrepreneurially. If you weren't born into a wealthy land-owning family, you didn't have a tidy job waiting for you after adolescence. You had to build your life with your own hands, your own skill, and your own wits. Most people would apprentice under a master, a blacksmith, a weaver, a merchant, not because of school grades or test scores, but because of natural inclination, raw talent, and the quiet pull of genuine curiosity. Over years of practice, often working for little or nothing at first, you would learn a trade inside and out. You'd build relationships, earn a reputation, and eventually take over a workshop or start one of your own. Entrepreneurship wasn't an option, it was the norm. Then came the Industrial Revolution. Factories needed obedient workers who could show up on time, follow instructions, and suppress their creative instincts in favour of repeatable efficiency. The education system evolved to support this new economy, designed less to ignite independent thinking and more to train good factory workers, and for the promising few, some factory managers. Over the past 140 years, we've been subtly groomed to believe that stability means conformity, that the smart path is to follow instructions, colour inside the lines, and hand over our time and talents in exchange for a steady paycheck. But the world is shifting again now, and this time it's doing so at speed. The financial systems we were taught to trust are unravelling. The promises of job security and steady progression are disintegrating. AI, automation, global debt collapse, political and social instability, they're all accelerating at the end of the industrial era dream. The next wave of entrepreneurs won't look like the ones who dominated Instagram in the 2010s. They won't be hyped up bros selling to other bros. They won't be personal brands built on nothing but attention and hot air. There'll be people who can make things, grow things, fix things, cook and create, teach and nurture, protect and build. There'll be tailors, gardeners, teachers, seamstresses, builders, hunters, healers and defenders. The men who can hunt, build, guard and grow. The women who can nurture, create, teach and trade. Real skills, real value, real entrepreneurship. I'll never forget when I realised that digital marketing skills weren't going to be much in demand if society collapses and it all goes a bit Mad Max. Then I remembered with a sigh of relief, I remember marketing before the internet. More importantly, perhaps, I can cook well, I can sew well, and make the paper patterns to do that systematically. I can bring up children safely, having managed it with two of my own. I can tell stories and teach others how to write books. I do have a value outside a laptop, and I think I know what it takes to become an entrepreneur. I looked up the word entrepreneur. It's a noun, and it means 1, a person who buys certain goods at cost, transforms them into another more valuable item and sells it on. 2, a person who relies on themselves, is proactive and takes 100% responsibility for results. 3, a person who sets up a business or businesses, taking on financial risks in the hope of profit. I've learned this the hard way over 28 years. I know what it takes. I know what you need to know and how you can learn it. I literally wrote the book to teach you how to become a better entrepreneur. But nobody wants a book anymore. Hardly anyone reads, even the readers like me. They prefer to digest information in bite-sized nuggets by listening while doing chores, walking the dog or working out. So I'm creating a short course built around the lessons learned in my life and shared in my book. Easily digestible, written and published on my blog and Substack with audio going out on my podcast. This course is called A Better Entrepreneur Blueprint for now, and it's about reclaiming those original, essential human instincts. It's about stepping away from the worn-out script of work harder, climb faster, and stepping into the much older, more natural path of building a life and a business that fits you, your talents, and the world that's actually coming. If your instincts have been telling you there's more for you than the standard career path, if you're ready to think more boldly, act more courageously, and create more deliberately, welcome to the Better Entrepreneur Blueprint. The journey begins today. If the world is shifting, and it is, then the way we approach success must shift with it. You might think the secret to entrepreneurial success is a killer strategy, the right tech stock, or a never-ending hustle. It isn't. Success, the kind that feels good, lasts, and leaves you proud, starts inside. You don't become a better entrepreneur by chasing tactics. You become a better entrepreneur by becoming a better you. More adaptable, more resilient, more capable of seeing opportunities where others see chaos. I know this not because I read it in some personal development book, but because I lived it. After my first successful business, the money gym, was wiped out by the global financial crisis of 2008, I found myself adrift between businesses, questioning everything, wondering what had gone wrong. In those wilderness years around 2011 to 2013, I went searching for answers the only way I knew how, by talking to people who had made it. I interviewed over 150 entrepreneurs, asking them to tell their stories, to share their biggest tips for their younger selves about mindset, marketing, and money. I thought if I could just find the common thread, the magic bullet, the one secret that led to guaranteed success, maybe I could rebuild. The best money tips ended up in my book, The Money Gym, my number one biggest money tip. But the true secret? It wasn't in any tip or tactic. It was hidden in plain sight. The entrepreneurs who built lasting success and joy were the ones who built themselves first. They cultivated resilience when things went wrong. They sharpened their instincts when markets shifted. They made their minds stronger and more flexible long before they needed those muscles in a crisis. It wasn't about working harder. It wasn't about chasing the next shiny trend. It was about who they became. That's the real work, and that's what a Better Entrepreneur Blueprint is built around. This isn't a motivational seminar. It isn't fluff and just believe in yourself nonsense. It's a practical, battle-tested approach to become the kind of entrepreneur the future demands. The world today is full of distractions, flashy business models, AI tools that promise to do everything for you, influencers preaching that you can work 4 hours a week and live on a yacht in Bali. Most of it's rubbish. The truth is harder and yet far more rewarding. You can build a business you love. You can create independence, wealth, meaning, and impact, but it won't come from a hack. It will come from deep, sustainable growth in yourself first. In this course, you'll find clear, actionable lessons, not empty theory. Stories from real life, including my own missteps, false starts, and triumphs. Tools to help you adapt, evolve, and thrive in uncertain times. Permission and encouragement to stop chasing and start building from the inside out. Each session is short enough to fit into your day, but powerful enough to shift your thinking forever if you let it. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to be willing to become a better entrepreneur step by step. Because in a world that's changing faster than ever, who you are becoming matters more than what you're building. Ready? Let's begin. The Better Entrepreneur Blueprint is being published on my blog here and on my Substack totally free of charge. Sessions drop Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Want to start from the beginning? Go back to day one on my blog at nicolacairncross.com/blog called The New Entrepreneurs Rising. In a hurry? Get the book, A Better Entrepreneur, on Amazon, or get the book, an interactive app, here on my website at nicolacairncross.com. It's called the Better Entrepreneur Digital Toolkit. Subscribe now via email, podcast, or Substack app so you don't miss the next instalments. You've been listening to Nicola Cairncross of nicolacairncross.com. Well, I hope you enjoyed the show today. We've got lots of resources on the website, so do come over to check them out. And by all means, feel free to book yourself into my diary at nicolacairncross.com/diary. I love to talk to entrepreneurs.